Εξομολογήστε τον Κύριο, διαγαθός, αλληλούια, ότι στον αιώνα, το έλεος αυτού, αλληλούια.
How's things been with you?
It's alright, yeah. He sent me a video about music,
Okay.
which I have to say, it's a little bit, I don't know how to put it.
I was personally loved it. Personally, I loved it. It was brilliant.
Okay.
What was the
Oh.
point?
Oh, okay, wait.
So,
The video I made about...
on your YouTube.
Okay, yeah.
Really good.
Oh, thanks, man.
I feel like you make some good points, honestly.
Yes. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, so with music, music really is an expression of the soul. So to deny someone the fact that they can embrace music is bizarre. Like, for example, in the Christian tradition, we worship in music.
Yeah, I know.
Right. In fact, the Psalms tell us to make a joyful noise for the Lord.
Yeah, but
You
the
know.
thing for me is music. Music is not natural. I like stuff which is, of course, so in Islam you can sing, but it's
Yeah.
the instruments in particular that are.
Yeah.
And I find just pure singing, abstract singing, to be far more beautiful, because when you get to instruments, it kind of adds an unrealistic touch to it. Like it makes it deeper, feel deeper. But really, what it does is it desensitizes you from like feeling things for what they actually are. So I don't feel the emotion because of the thing itself. For example, if it's something sad or something motivational or something inspiring,
Right.
but because it's the music doing that. Sometimes like there would be literally.
Yeah. Music can manipulate your emotions. That is correct.
Yeah.
But the thing is that there are perfectly good uses for that. So, for example, if I made a song about, I don't know, you could say anything, like people being martyred for their faith, right? And you could put your own faith in there or whatever. The point is that if you think that's a sad thing, you can have sad music to accompany that, to get the message across that, yeah, and it helps. And the reason why that's useful is because you meditate on it. When you listen to music, you're in a kind of state of mind of reflecting on what you're hearing.
Yeah.
It affects your mood.
That's not what I'm denying.
Right.
My problem is that music actually it makes it. I don't know. It takes it to a depth which is, I feel like, unnecessary to a point.
But the soul, the human soul, is that deep. The music just is a reflection of what your soul is.
If it's that deep, then why do you need music to get?
No, because it reflects it. You have your soul. So, like in your soul, you know that you're in love with a beautiful woman,
Yeah.
right? That can arouse quite passionate thoughts in a man. You can have music that reflects that.
Yeah, that's not,
Music is just trying to reflect what we inwardly know. That's the whole point of music. So to deny music and the expression of it in a significant way, like the Islamic tradition does, you in effect are saying you can't reflect your soul as much as you would want to, and that is tragic.
I feel like it really does. I've had quite like a journey, like myself. Like, you know, a lot of religious videos we have and a lot of background music, and that's something that I genuinely hate. Like, even if the music is with the message, like it emphasizes the message, but at the end of it, it's like, okay, so I'm watching this video and now I'm all invested. The music is making it feel deeper, but then by the end of it, when the music stops and the speech stops, all of a sudden I feel like I just got removed from something. Whereas if it was abstract speech, then when it's done, it makes it more memorable. It makes it like more. You get what I mean? Like, it makes it more.
Do you listen to nasheed? Yeah, you know nasheed, the Islamic.
Singing.
Yeah, but they have instruments in them. They just have they're just very selective about what they have in them, right?
Yeah, in Orthodox, like, you just deny all instruments altogether. You have drums, which are permissible for wedding celebrations.
But even then, like, even if it's just a voice, a lot of the time they manipulate the voice to make it more impactful.
But it's different than an instrument.
Why?
It's still different.
I mean, like, okay, there's a video of Muhammad Hijab reciting the Quran, and in his video, he edits the audio so it has like reverb, so that like when he's reciting the Quran, it sounds like his, you know what I mean?
I know that, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't think that's, yeah.
But the intent is the same. It's to add emphasis. It's to get you in a state of mind to appreciate what's being said.
Yeah, but
Do you understand?
look, do you get my point? My point is that the type of emphasis that the music puts on things is not a positive one. Even if it emphasizes the right message.
Not even if it's a recitation of the Quran.
That's not music.
Well, if you're saying it and you're editing your voice artificially.
No, I don't think that's. No, I don't think. I'm not with Mohammed Hijab on that. I don't think that's permissible, because that would be music. Like some people even
Alright.
like do autotune with recitations.
Yeah.
Not to give it doesn't even sound like autotune, but they kind of manipulate it to make
Yeah.
it more.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's not good.
Yeah.
That should not. It's not something that. It's not a good technology sort of thingy.
Fair enough, man. But I wouldn't deny yourself the pleasure of good music.
No,
Like,
I've heard
even
good
in the
music
concept
my
of
life.
worship.
The more I hear good music, the more I'm convinced that.
Well, that's up for you to find, right? It's up to you to. I mean, it's not for me to tell you. It's not for him or anyone.
Yeah.
It's up for you to explore it yourself into.
No, what I'm saying is the more I hear it, the more I'm convinced that it's not good.
Maybe you've just heard really bad music. I don't know.
No, trust me, I have good taste, bro. I have good taste.
Right.
I would say. I know.
I mean, ultimately, not even because I'm a Christian. I'm more swaying on your side of the argument. He did raise some good points though, in terms of like the emphasis, and sometimes we can manipulate things.
Yeah.
And like if you have without, that shows that is the truth. So I remember you told me one hadith, or the story, when they were all night in prayer. And do you remember when it was about this music thing?
They were what?
I think they were praying. People of this Harvard, they were praying all night. Does that ring a bell? You told me a story, and I was like, okay, cool. I get your point, your rebuttal against the music.
Oh right, yeah, I remember the story. Oh, basically it's this story where basically the Muslim armies were kind of waiting on battle.
Yeah.
And in the night, while everybody's asleep, one of them was up and he was praying. Right, and while he was praying, someone struck him with an arrow from afar. So he just took it out and he kept praying.
Yeah.
So he struck him with another arrow, so he just took it out and he kept praying.
Right.
So it happened another time, and third time, he struck it out, he took it out and he kept praying. Then his companion noticed, he's like, why would you not tell me so that I could alert me? And he said, I was just reciting a surah and I did not want to interrupt it.
Wow, okay.
And it's that level of living with the Quran and living with reality in general, to me, that gets removed once you get too much immersed in music. Like reality becomes, I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think it's just it accompanies it.
You can,
You know, I mean, really, it's going to come down to like opinion about whether you like music or not. But I mean, well, is it permissible for you to even say that? Like, can you like music?
I say I used to.
I guess.
I'll say I used to.
Okay, all right, I guess. I don't know, man. I wouldn't deny yourself that. I really wouldn't, because there are some amazing pieces of music.
No, I believe you. I believe you. But the thing is, to me, is what I keep saying to you, bro.
I mean, even me personally, I feel like even it's an expression of art. It's a way. It's a talent.
Yeah.
It's like why I'm sure like God brought us down on this earth. Like people can sing beautiful voices.
Yeah.
I'm so sure they were made to be put to use by God. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gifted them with that. That's the problem I have with it. Music. What else?
Bro, porn is called talent these days.
But it's not. It's definitely not.
Yeah, see.
It's definitely.
So a lot of people beg to differ.
Yeah, but
Not me, obviously.
I think stuff like that, that's just taking advantage of certain things. But music, like even playing the guitar, it's a talent. It's definitely a gift. It's definitely a gift from God. So it's just like funny to me that why would God give us that and then deny us of it? That was my.
There's
I
a lot
already
of
said
bad
this.
things in the universe. You have, I don't know, bro. Like, there's a lot of some people are talented in making, I don't know, cooking types of drugs.
Well, I think like
that's a talent. That's actually a talent, you know.
what? So with music, you can use it as like a memory aid. That's one thing. So there's
100%,
pragmatic
yeah.
use of music.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, for example, you could use music to memorize parts of the Quran. So,
I said that.
well, no, you could use music to memorize anything. You can associate notes with things.
Oh,
I think
music is
the
very
Quran
good
is
for
too
memory.
easy to
Wait, so
memorize anyway.
when I
You
listen
don't
to a
need
song, you can make it a cappella, or the way around, instrumental, and I will instinctively know what the lyrics are
Oh, yeah, true.
by hearing the notes.
Yeah, true.
Likewise, I could do that with Quran recitation
Why would you? You don't need to.
because it would help learn the Quran.
It's
You
really
know, I mean,
easy
it would
to read the
seem
Quran.
odd that Allah would give you that and then be like, don't use it to learn the Quran.
Bro, the Quran is too easy to learn on its own. You really don't need. Bro, I can go through. I can
not
learn
many-
a page in
not
half
many
an
Muslims.
hour. I can learn a page of the Quran in half an hour by heart and never, and that's it.
No,
And it's like-
no. You would forget it, like most people would.
Bro,
unless you keep
I'm
at
telling you from experience.
Yeah.
I know this for a fact because I've done it several times.
Also, maybe because, sorry to cut you off.
No, yeah.
I feel like the Quran, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like the way that it's recited, it has kind of got like a musical sense to it.
It does,
makes
yeah.
it like a bit
There's
easier.
a name.
I feel like that's part of it.
There's a name for it. What's the name? Taj. There's a name for it. There's a name for the way that the Quran is recited. I'll try to remember what it's called. It's like Taj. Is it Tajweed?
Tajweed, yeah.
Tajweed, yeah. So even that is like a kind of how you would pronounce it. And to be honest, when you hear Quran recitation, it sounds methodical. Methodical?
Yeah.
Yeah, like melody.
Melodies.
Like there is melody there.
Yeah.
Like if you go to an Anglican church, unless it's a high Catholic Anglican church, the recitation of like scripture is just said.
I love it.
Literally, they just say it.
I love it.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Come to an Anglican church then.
Huh?
Come to an Anglican church then.
Oh yeah. Right. No, you see, I told you in the beginning, singing is still different to me. Like abstract singing without instruments is still different than having instruments. I'm all for singing. I love singing. Like I even feel like singing on its own is better than singing with an instrumental. These are deep convictions I have. That I've developed. Like it's not just me arguing out of concept, but me arguing out of experience, out of knowing people, what music does, what like that sort of thing.
Well, you see, you're right to know that music does things. It does, right? It does change your mood. But the thing is that's part of the point. You're meant to be moved by music. That's the entire point.
But that's not the type of movement that's like Drake said. Drake said we don't listen if it's not without 808s, if it's not without drums.
It's a lyric.
I was like, that is so true. But it's such a dumb statement to me because it's so obvious, and people were like, that is so true, and people were like, thought it was such a deep statement or smart statement, but it's like, it's so basic. Like, you don't need, like, that's the thing to me. I don't want to be dependent on instruments to feel really about stuff. And I feel like the more people get used to instruments, the less disconnected they get from reality. They just become too dependent on the instrument. The instrument is what gives them the emotion is the instrument, not the words. I've even gone to a church one time. I didn't even know I was going to a church. Someone invited me. And people, there was music in the church, right? And people were dancing to it, doing everything. But I could tell, it was so obvious that people were moved by the music, not the words that's being said. It was so obvious, I could see it.
Was it like quite charismatic church or so?
I don't know. I don't know what that is. But it was music and people were sitting, and the pastor was speaking and people were like, it was the music, it was not the words. And that's a vulnerable state to me. That's something wrong with it.
I just somewhat agree with that a little bit. And I don't know if that's like, I've wanted to research more into that. I do feel like it's a bit of I don't know if a problem is the word, but it does make me like, I don't want to say question things, but it is a thing for me. Like I do, like some churches, like with the music, it's like what you're saying, they're more moved by that. But I don't know if that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, this to me is expressions of the charismatic perspective. So, like Pentecostal, for example, where there might be churches that have a very liberal policy on like how their worship is conducted. So they use like modern band instruments, and there's also an emphasis on usually very modern music.
Yeah.
So it's still Christian, but it's modern, and sometimes there's a massive emphasis on expressing the Holy Spirit through this act of worship. That it does sometimes think, well, hang on a second. It's no longer about what's being said, but more about how it's said. Like it's said in such a beautiful way that it's not really about the content. Well, if that's what you mean, kind of, yeah. I've been in churches where I've thought that. The Anglican stuff, that's the opposite, really.
Anglican, I'll check out.
Well, even when they sing hymns, like you're reading it all in front of you, and the amount of times I'm just looking like trying to like theologically like understand it and make sure it's sound as I'm singing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the reason you do it is because they're not the most catchiest of things.
Yeah.
They're quite slow, and you can read the text, but. Yeah.